Welcome to Catholic News World.
Welcome to Catholic News World. Please subscribe to our channel. My name is Steph. Here are this week's breaking news headlines.
A Catholic priest died suddenly who was president of the National Black Catholic Clergy Caucus while he was on sabbatical. The Lexington, Kentucky priest, Father Norman Fisher Jr., died in Delaware on July 14, 2024. He was only 50 years old, and the news was first announced by Bishop John Stowe. He noted that Father Fisher was at the Catholic Heart Work Camp in Wilmington at the time of his death. Fisher recently celebrated 24 years as a priest and spent his final weeks in New Orleans at the Institute for Black Catholic Studies, where he was a student in the continuing education program. No cause of death was announced, but Fisher's family was known to have a history of heart problems. We gather today with a profound sense of loss, with more questions than we have answers. Stowe said during a standing room-only memorial mass on July 15th at St. Peter Claver Catholic Church in Lexington. It is a historically black parish where Fisher had served since 2006. There's a lot of heaviness in our hearts, Stowe said. A lot of concern about so many people that have been touched by Father Norman's life, by his unique way of touching people and reaching people and healing people and involving people and bringing grace to their hearts. Father Fisher was raised in rural Perryville, Kentucky, and answered the call to the priesthood after attending Center College in Danville, where he majored in psychology and art. When he became president, Fisher said, "To God be the glory. I remain a humbled priest's son, always keeping before me how I was lifted up by the wisdom of so many great priests, many since deceased, of the NBCCC." Fisher had previously served as an officer of the National Black Catholic Seminarians Association. May he rest in peace. In a new interview, the Cardinal of Jerusalem calls for a Gaza ceasefire and joins in donations of 40 tons of aid for the area. The Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, His Beatitude Cardinal Pierbattista Pizzaballa, in an interview with Father Bill Kemi of Ireland, calls the situation in Gaza objectively intolerable and renews calls for a ceasefire. This interview follows his visit to Gaza and the over 600 Christians sheltering at the Holy Family Catholic Church. I mean, the facts are very clear about what is going on. First of all, I have to say that what happened October 7th is also objectively intolerable, but also what is going on in Gaza. I mean, more than 80% of the houses have been destroyed, approximately 40,000 people killed. It's not the first time we have a war, but we never saw people starving, as we are seeing, in this proportion. I don't know, the proportion of the violence we are seeing is something that goes beyond any understanding. There are no roads. You have to go through the mountains of garbage and rubble. You see the population living in this ruins, and especially the children. It has a very strong impact on you. There is nothing working, no electricity, no water, no sewage. So you live in very poor conditions, and also our Christian community that are living in the church compounds, Orthodox and Catholic, without anything. I mean, they lost everything, and they live in the classrooms of the school, and they cook once or twice per week, and this should be sufficient for all the week. The people don't eat vegetables and fruits, so we have a very evident lack of vitamins. Also, the situation is very difficult to have medicines for chronic disease. If you have diabetes, we have disease-normal conditions. And the lack of hygiene also has very heavy consequences, especially the fragile population, the children and the elderly. There is no way to help them all north of Gaza. In Gaza City, there are about 600,000 people. No hospitals, nothing. It's unbelievable. We had a little more than 1,000 Christians, Catholic and Orthodox, mostly Orthodox, but they are all living together now. There remains exactly 621 Christians. Some of them, as you said, have been killed in the bombs at the beginning of the war. I think in October others died, killed by December, by some snipers, and others died because lack of medical assistance. And others managed, when it was possible, to immigrate. They got a foreign visa so they could leave this terrible situation. They are all living there now, in the church compounds, as I said, in very poor conditions. The classrooms became the place where the families live, just blankets separating families. They cook once or maximum twice per week, and this must be sufficient for all. And of course, there is no gas. There is a lot of wood because all these houses were destroyed. There is a lot of furniture that can provide wood. It's not simple also to provide food for them. We have sisters there. Mother Teresa, sisters are providing assistance to about 60 disabled children in a disabled part of the house that has also been hit by the tanks. And now some of them are living. Some of these children are in the church, the part of the church that has been used as shelter for these children. We try to do what is possible to help and support them. First of all, to pray for us is very important. To talk, to organize meetings and prayer meetings, but also conferences, whatever, about this situation where we can inform people about what is going on in a balanced way. As much as possible, truth is very important, to say seeing their truth, but also without becoming part of confrontation. The Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem and the Order of Malta have jointly sent an aid delivery to the people in northern Gaza. It is the second delivery of vital relief supplies to the parish in Gaza, which will be distributed to people in need in the following days. A total of 40 tons of non-perishable food in kits were delivered for distribution on July 23, 2024, by Malteser International at the new distribution center established by the Latin Patriarchate near the Patriarchate's compound in northern Gaza. One relief kit can feed a family of 5 for 1 month. In the coming days, relief kits will be distributed to families who are living in the area. Please pray for peace. A member of Pope Francis' Council of Cardinals, Canadian Cardinal Gerald Cyprien Lacroix, had been accused of abusing a 17-year-old girl almost 40 years ago. A Vatican independent investigation cleared Cardinal Lacroix. Cardinal Gerald Cyprien Lacroix announced that he has resumed his duties as Archbishop of Quebec today, after a voluntary 6-month withdrawal. Out of respect for the judicial process in which he is implicated, the Archbishop has entrusted Monsignor Marc Pelchat, Auxiliary Bishop in Quebec, with the management of the class action against the diocese and the handling of the allegations of abuse. In the following weeks, a request to intervene in the class action was filed by certain individuals targeted by the allegations, including Cardinal Lacroix, stating their intention to be personally involved in the class action. The court is expected to rule on this request in the coming months. Furthermore, the diocese is considering revising the methods of applying suspensions in the event of abuse. The Cardinal said, "It has been a difficult journey, but the conclusions of Judge Dennis's investigation, the support of those around me, and the possibility of making myself heard that could result from the request for intervention lead me to calmly resume my ministry." The community knows to what extent the Church of Quebec condemns reprehensible acts and knows the measures we have taken to prevent them.
Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to Catholic News World's channel. God bless.